Welcome to Marin English Lab. My name is Marin. In today's lesson, we're going to discuss one of the most important and often most challenging elements of English: phrasal verbs. Many learners spend years studying vocabulary and grammar, yet still feel uncomfortable when speaking or listening to real English. One of the main reasons for this gap is a limited understanding of phrasal verbs. In this lesson, I will explain why phrasal verbs are essential, how they function in real communication, and how you can learn them more effectively. What are phrasal verbs? Let us begin with a simple definition. A phrasal verb is a combination of a main verb and one or more particles, such as up, out, in, on, or off, that together create a meaning different from the original verb. For example, find out, give up, turn down. These combinations act as a single unit of meaning and are extremely common in everyday English. Why phrasal verbs are essential? One of the most important facts about English is that native speakers rely heavily on phrasal verbs, especially in spoken and informal contexts. In daily conversation, people say, find out instead of discover, put off instead of postpone, get along instead of maintain a relationship. If learners avoid phrasal verbs, their English may sound correct, but unnatural or overly formal, particularly when speaking. Phrasal verbs and listening comprehension. Another major reason phrasal verbs are so important is listening comprehension. Many learners understand individual words, but still struggle to follow conversations, movies, or podcasts. This often happens because phrasal verbs are used naturally and quickly in speech. If you do not recognize a phrasal verb as a unit, you may understand every word, but miss the meaning of the sentence. Why learners find phrasal verbs difficult? There are two main reasons phrasal verbs are challenging. First, many phrasal verbs are idiomatic, meaning their meanings cannot be guessed from the individual words. Second, many phrasal verbs have multiple meanings depending on context. For example, take off can mean remove clothing, leave the ground suddenly, become successful. This requires learners to pay close attention to context, not translation. How to learn phrasal verbs effectively. The most important principle is this: do not learn phrasal verbs in isolation. Instead, learn them in context. Study them in sentences, conversations, and real situations. This helps your brain understand how and when they are used. Organizing phrasal verbs. A very effective strategy is to group phrasal verbs. You can group them by topic, such as daily routines or work, by particle, such as up, out, or on, by meaning, such as completion, change, or movement. This approach helps you see patterns and reduces memorization stress. Focus on high-frequency phrasal verbs. Not all phrasal verbs are equally important. You should focus first on high-frequency phrasal verbs, the ones you hear and use most often in daily life. Learning a smaller number of useful phrasal verbs deeply is far more effective than memorizing long lists. Active practice is essential. Understanding phrasal verbs is not enough. To truly master them, you must use them actively. Say them out loud. Create short dialogues. Replace formal verbs with phrasal verbs in sentences. Active use turns passive knowledge into real speaking ability. Phrasal verbs and levels of formality. Phrasal verbs are most common in spoken and informal English, but they also appear in emails, presentations, and semi-formal writing. In very formal or academic writing, single-word verbs are often preferred. Advanced learners know how to choose appropriately depending on the situation. Conclusion. Phrasal verbs are not an optional part of English learning. They are a core element of real communication and a key indicator of fluency and naturalness. Although they may seem difficult at first, learning phrasal verbs through context, frequency, and active practice will significantly improve your listening, speaking, and overall confidence in English. Mastering phrasal verbs is a major step toward true English proficiency. Thank you for watching this lesson on Marin English Lab. If you found this lesson helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. In our next lessons, we will practice high-frequency phrasal verbs through real-life examples and conversations. See you in the next class.